Okay, so following the Baltimore Ravens loss to the Buffalo Bills, Ryan Clark tweeted this out. You fought number 8, gave your team a chance, had adversity in the first half, and kept pushing. Did everything you had to do in the second half to earn extra minutes. That's the way it goes when it's good on good. This ain't on you. You showed up in the most important moments. Okay, so a lot of people took issue with this tweet from RC. First off, Lamar, while not getting the brunt of the blame after the drop pass by Mark Andrews in the 2-point conversion, did however commit 2 turnovers. So this wasn't a typical game that we're accustomed to seeing from Lamar, who in the last 3 seasons has only thrown a combined total of 18 picks in 45 games, only 4 of which came from this season. This playoff game from last Sunday wasn't the typical Lamar Jackson we've seen all season. He even admitted it to himself and took ownership following the loss, saying he could have done things better and kept the ball out of harm's way. Yet in Ryan Clark's tweet, he had a complete different energy for Lamar than what he showed Josh Allen last season following the Bills' loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. For the record, Josh Allen finished that game completing 26 of 39 passes for a $186 and a touchdown, while also rushing for 72 yards and 2 scores. That game also ended up out of Josh's hands as his kicker Tyler Bass missed a 44-yard field goal that would have tied the game. Anyways, here's that clip of what RC had to say about Josh Allen the next day, courtesy of Renaissance Man, and you tell me if you could spot the difference in his tone and energy.
And we sit on this show and we consistently say how great Josh Allen is, and I agree. But we start to grade Josh Allen on a curve. When we were on the call this morning, it felt like I was listening to LeBron fans before he took his talent to South Beach. It was Josh did this and Josh did that. We were on the phone for 20 minutes and Greeny didn't even know I was on the phone because y'all waxed poetically about how great the loser of this game was. The Buffalo Bills have done what they've had to do to have the divisional game in their stadium.
Yep.
Joe Burrow came there, he walked into your trap, and he took over your trap. Patrick Mahomes came in there, he walked in your trap, and he took over your trap. At some point, Josh Allen is going to have to beat the other great quarterbacks in the AFC. At some point, y'all gotta say he's coming up short. When we're gonna sit on here and just continue to just say, Josh Allen is this, Josh Allen is that, Josh Allen is one of the greatest, at some point, you have to be great enough that when those things go wrong, you find a way to win. And he had the football in his hand with a chance to win. And as great as he'd been the whole day, when we said, no, we're not going to be able to turn around and hand it to 4, he didn't make the plays. I feel like at some point, we have to start asking Josh Allen when in those moments against those people. And when he does, we get to say all the things we want to. That ain't happened yet.
But the downside RC is yet. 2 years ago, he did outside of 13 seconds.
So I have a question, right? Let's say that game, because Kansas City ain't stopped Josh and them either. Gabe Davis, 200-plus yards.
Right.
Were we going to come in here the next day and be like, poor Patrick, you scored 33 points. You had all of these yards.
No.
Your defense, no, you wouldn't have.
No.
You wouldn't have said that. But for Josh, we do.
But we wouldn't have said, we would not have taken anything away from the greatness of his performance.
Right.
And that's what I'm concerned about. Obviously, Allen's team didn't win the game. Obviously, he didn't win the game.
Great performance, Josh.
But there was...
He said the same thing
Josh,
about Elway,
that.
about Peyton Manning. Eventually,
Josh,
he's
take that
going to
home and
land
smoke
the
it.
I'm going
hook.
to have to bring the jersey over here.
Smoke your stats at your house and your hookah, Josh.
So you heard what he said there, that Josh Allen at some point has to be able to beat other great QBs in the league. Notice the difference in energy for Lamar and Josh? I mean, you could even make the case that it's even more serious in Lamar's situation because he's on his way to becoming a 3-time MVP and has never made it to a Super Bowl. On top of that, he has struggled mightily in the playoffs compared to the regular season. Also in that clip, Ryan kept mentioning that Josh Allen was coming up short, but that fans kept praising him in light of that. No different from that tweet Ryan Clark tweeted about Lamar after the game. So now obviously a lot of people are going to be drawing to the conclusion that this is maybe due to race because it is Ryan Clark who is the messenger and he has often divided NFL fans, bringing race into many discussions. Anyways, take a look at some of the tweets here in response to this clip. Lamar is getting a pass in the media today because all the talking heads are just trying to justify their MVP votes. Josh Allen doesn't have the right skin tone for Ryan Clark to give him props. We know what RC is about. He said it. He's about defending the black QB at all costs, except for Russ, who I guess ain't black enough for him to defend. To which Renaissance Man replied back, no question. And as a black man, I'm all about seeing black QBs excel and do well. I love to see it, but this obsession he has with Lamar ain't it. Honestly, reading that last back and forth kinda rings true because it really does seem like RC will do anything to protect all black quarterbacks in the league. There's clearly a difference in energy in the way he speaks about Aaron Rodgers and how he's had a terrible season from his standards, but I have never seen him talk recently about Deshaun Watson in that same way. And Deshaun is the guy who got that mega contract and has so far failed to live up to expectations. He has probably been one of the worst QBs in the last 2 seasons and yet doesn't get scrutinized in the same level from Ryan Clark. But maybe it's because they share the same agent in David Mulugheta. I don't know. But at the end of the day, RC simply has a narrative to protect black quarterbacks, especially Lamar, since in his own words, he's the most authentically black QB in the league. And I think this clip here proves what I'm saying.
And he never changed the way that he led a locker room. He just improved on it. But it stayed authentically Lamar Jackson. And for that reason, when he wins or when he loses, the conversation is about so much bigger than just who he is as a player. So this is imperative that Lamar Jackson not only wins this game, but he wins the Super Bowl because it's an entire culture on the back of that jersey, not just the name Jackson.